Okay, Bismillah, read. Bismillah, tafaddal. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We're discussing Salat Adhan and Iqamah. So, وَيَنْبَغِي أَن يُؤَذِّنَ وَيُقِيمَ عَلَى طُهْرٍ فَإِنْ أَذَّنَ عَلَى غَيْرِ وُضُوءٍ جَازَ. So here it is not faraz, it is not a prerequisite that the mu'adhin must be in the condition of wudu for his azan to be done. Sometimes it happens, maybe the mu'adhin is late, he's running late, whatever. So he just runs quickly and he gives azan, right? So وَيَنْبَغِي, and we're saying, not saying يَفْرُض, he says appropriate. وَيَنْبَغي is appropriate. أَن يُؤَذِّنَ, gives azan. وَيُقِيمَ, and he gives aqama. عَلَى طُهْرٍ, right? On the condition that he has taharat, right? We speak about complete taharat. Taharat and hadith akbar and hadith asghar, right? But فَإِنْ أَذَّنَ عَلَى غَيْرِ وُضُوءٍ, if he had to give adhan without wudu, jaza, it will be permissible. What we mean is permissible. It's not the ideal scenario, but it's fine, right? Why? لأنه ذكر وليس بصلاة, because adhan is a dhikr. You are engaging in the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. وليس بصلاة is not the actual salat. Like salat, you have conditions that you have to be in taharat, etc. So they're saying لأنه ذكر وليس باسم. فكان الوضوء فيها استحبابا, like how when you engage in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you make dhikr, you recite the kalima, etc., etc. Say Allah, 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 or you study the kutub hadith, etc., etc. Then you it's better, it's from amongst the adab and the etiquette to have wudu. But if you don't have wudu, doesn't mean it's not valid, right? وكان الوضوء فيها استحبابا كما في القراءة, like how if you read the Quran without touching, if you recite from the Quran without touching the Mus'haf, we discuss this in detail, then it is mustahab. It is better to have wudu, but it's not a condition that if you recite the Quran without wudu, your recitation is not done, right? Carry on.
The person in the country will pass with they should go outside just in because ويروى أن لا تكره الإقامة أيضا لأنها إحدى الأذانين ويروى أنه يركب الأذان أيضا لأنه يصير داعيا إلى ما لا يجيب بنفسه.
Right. So see, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَيُقْرَهُ أَن يُقِيمَ عَلَى غَيْرِ وُضُوءٍ. It is makruh. It is inappropriate. It is reprehensible. أَن يُقِيمَ, that a person call out the iqamat على غَيْرِ وُضُوءٍ, without wudu. Why? لما فيه من الفصل بين الإقامة والصلاة. If the muazzin, right, he was late and he said, now, hey, if I don't go give the iqamat quickly, I'm going to get in trouble by the trustees. So he jumped up and he gave the iqamat. And after that, he ran to make wudu. What is going to happen? He is going to be separating between the iqamat and the salah. Because he's going to be late for salah while he's supposed to be there. So lima fihi, because of what is it? Min al-fasli, because of the separation. Bain al-iqamat wa salati, the separation between the iqamat and the salat. The iqamat and the salat should be in quick succession. That is why this mas'ala also comes about, that if a person calls out the iqamat and there's a long break between, then you should recall out the iqamat. You shouldn't suffice on the first iqamat. To show you that the iqamat shouldn't be delayed too much after the actual, or rather the salat shouldn't be delayed too much after the actual iqamat, right? So وَيُرْوَاهَ أَنَّهُ لَا تُقْرَوْ الْإِقَامَةُ أَيْضًا. I told you, whenever you got a majhul scale, which we say the passive voice, it is also been narrated وَيُرْوَى أَنَّهُ لَا يُقْرَوْ الْإِقَامَةُ أَيْضًا. That iqamat is not makruh. In other words, just like adhan, it is 100% fine, right? ويروى أن that they say also إقامة is also 100% fine, right? ويروى أنه لا تقرأ الإقامة. Why? لأن أحد الأذانين, because إقامة is like adhan. If you look, remember I told you that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the riwayat, بين كل أذانين إقامة, between every adhan is an iqamat, right? between every two azans is a salat. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam referred to the iqamat as azan. So the fact that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam referred to the iqamat as azan means you will have the same law as the azan, and for the azan it is 100% fine. What that you can read it or you can do it without a wudu. So that's what the reason there. So ويروى أنه لا تكره. It is narrated not مكروه الإقامة أيضا. Why? لأن أحد الأذانين. Then there's another riwayat also. I told you all majhus refer to the weak riwayat. ويروى أنه يكره الأذان أيضا. But there's a riwayat that says also that to call out the adhan without wudu is also makruh. Why? لأنه يصير داعيا إلى ما لا يجيب بنفسه. Because look here, you are calling out to something which you never answer yourself. Look here, how do you answer the call to salah? You answer the call to salah by standing up, making wudu, and proceeding to the masjid. How do you answer the call to salah? You stand up, you make wudu, and you proceed to the masjid. Yeah, this person here, he's calling other people to the masjid, but he hasn't answered the call of standing up and making wudu and going to the masjid. Are you with me? لأنه يصير داعيا إلى ما لا يجيب بنفسه, that he becomes a caller to something which he did not answer himself. So like I say, astaghfirullah min qawlin bila amal, I make tawbah for engaging in something which I'm not doing myself. So because he's calling the people to stand up, make wudu and read salah, that's for the men to come to the masjid. For the ladies, when he calls out the azan, he's telling them now stand up, make wudu and read your salah, but he hasn't done the same thing. So it's in that sense of the word, it is inappropriate for him. Right, read the next one. So till here we were discussing where a person was free from hadith akbar, but not free from hadith asghar. Right? He had he was he was free from hadith akbar. That means he needed a janabat, right? So read the next one. Right. Right.
على إحدى الروايتين وأن للأذان شبها بالصلاة
Yeah. Okay, see. ويكره أن يؤذن ويكره أن يؤذن وهو جنوب. It is makruh that he calls out the adhan وهو جنوب. So if a person, like for example, the muazzin was late and he needed a first bath, and then he said, hey, I'm going to be late. My trustees are going to shout me. So he just ran in the condition where he needed a faraz ghusl, and he called out the adhan. So وَيُكْرَهُ, it is makruh أَيُّ أَذِّنَا, that he calls out the adhan وَهُوَ جُنُوبٌ, whilst he is in حالة janabat. This ibarat here, remember it, riwayatan wahidatan. There's only one riwayat that says it is makruh. Like how, in the previous with regards to calling out the adhan without wudu, some riwayat suggest it's fine, some riwayat suggest it's not fine, etc. Here we only got one riwayat that says it's not appropriate, right? Riwayatan wahidatan. Carry on. Okay. What they say in the next ibarat is, look here, just look at me 1 second. You see, if you look at salat, right, it is two-dimensional. Sorry, if you look at adhan, it is two-dimensional. I repeat, adhan is two-dimensional. From some angles, it resembles salah. Adhan, from some angles, it resembles salah. And from some angles, the adhan does not resemble salah. Are you with me? So it's like how we say it is two-dimensional, or like maybe in Arabic you say dhu wajhain. So the fact that it resembles salah, we will liken it to salah in the sense that how salah cannot be done. Salah cannot be done without, or else salah cannot be done without being free from hadith akbar. Same here. This cannot be done without being free from hadith akbar. So we're giving credit, or we give it to the fact that because it resembles salah in one way, so it will have the same hukum of salah, like how salah cannot be done without being free from hadith akbar. This cannot be done unless you are free from hadith akbar. Then in another way, that it is not actual salah, like how you get salat, you get this, the different components of salah, etc., etc. So in that sense, you got ruku, you get sajda, etc. So in that sense of the word, it doesn't resemble salah. So so in that sense, because it doesn't resemble salah, we'll give it the hukum like that because it is not a salah, you don't have to have wudu. You understand what I'm saying? So in some senses, it resembles the salah, so we'll give it the hukum of salah that you have to be free from hadith akbar. And in some senses, it doesn't resemble salah, so we'll give it the hukum of something that doesn't resemble salah. That is, you can do it whilst you are not free from hadith asghar. That is, you still need wudu. So see them. ووجه الفرق, and the reasons why there's a difference between the actual salah and this. على إحدى الروايتين, upon this riwayat we're saying that you can't do it while it's hadith akbar, but you can do it while it's hadith asghar. Is that وأن للأذان, that for adhan, right, shibhan بالصلاة, it has a resemblance to salah, right? فيشترط الطهارة, so we will say because it resembles salah in some ways, so taharat from an aghladi al-hadathain, to have taharat from the bigger of the two hadiths, which is hadith akbar, will be a condition, duna akhafiha, and not from the lesser of the hadith, because that is the lighter one, you understood? And in that way it will resemble a non-salat thing. Duna akhafiha amalan bishibhaini, like making amal upon both dimensions, making amal on both angles, right? Carry on.
قال وفي الجامع الصغير إذا أذن على غير وضوء وأقام لا يعيد والجنب أحب إلي أن يعيد وإن لم يعيد فجزأه.
Okay. وفي الجامع الصغير, and in Jami Saghir is mentioned, إذا أذن على غير وضوء, if a person gave adhan without wudu, right? Ala, وأقام, and even gave iqamat without. So we're saying it is not the ideal. It is against the adab and the etiquette, right? But la yu'idu, he doesn't have to repeat it. It's not necessary to say. So what does it show? The fact that you say la yu'idu means what? That it is valid. It's not to say it's not valid, right? La yu'idu. Carry on.
أما الأول فلخفة الحدث.
Right. So still the same ibarat. Wal junubu in Jami Sahir, which is Imam Muhammad, he says, Wal junubu ahabu ilayya ayyuida. But the person which is in need of a faraz ghusl, if he gave the adhan, right, wal junubu ahabu ilayya ayyuida, it is more beloved to me that he repeats it, that repeat the he must repeat the adhan, because right. But wa illam yu'id ajza'ahu, but if he doesn't repeat it, it will be sufficient. So what does that show you? That shows you it is not a rukn, like how in salat, from the shurut of salat is you have to be free from hadith akbar, you have to be free from hadith asghar. If you're not free from hadith akbar, if you're not free from hadith asghar, right, then the salat is not done. So yeah, the fact that you don't have to repeat it shows what? That it is not a shart. Shart normally refer to a rukn that comes before, right? Carry on. So, right, وَإِلَمْ يُعِدْ أَجْرَ, right? So they're giving a reason why, if a person gave the iqamat, etc., without azan, why you don't, without taharat, right? What's the masla here? We're saying, see, adhana ala ghayri wudu'in wa aqama. A person gave the adhan and the iqamat without wudu, why you don't have to repeat it, right? So amal awal, that's why we say amal awal is right. Awal refer to what? Refer to without wudu, right? So what's the reason why we say you don't have to repeat it? See there, إذا أذن على غير وضوء وأقام لا يعيد. That's what they're referring to there. Né? That's what they're referring to. إذا أذن على غير وضوء وأقام لا يعيد. If he gave adhan without wudu, وأقام يعني وأقام بغير وضوء لا يعيد. Right? أما الأول, what is the reason for why you don't have to repeat? فلخفة الحدث, because wudu is a weak form of hadith. It doesn't have a far-reaching consequence on it, right? وأما في الثاني, but then we said والجنوب أحب إلي أن يؤيد وإن لم يؤيد أجزأه. And the junubi, the person who needs a faraz ghusl, if he gave wudu without adhan, then it is necessary that he must repeat. Not necessary, sorry. It's more beloved to me, he must repeat it. But if he does not repeat it, it's also fine. So they're saying, right? أما الثاني, right? ففي الإعادة بسبب الجناب right? ففي الإعادة بسبب جنابة رواية. Why is it better to repeat it? There's actually two narrations why you should repeat it. Right? What is it? There's two right. Right. فأما الثاني ففي الإعادة بسبب الجنابة. As for the second one, repeating it because of janabat, right? روايتان, there's two narrations, right? That what's the reason should repeat, etc. Yeah. So here is saying, well, ashbahu ayu ad al adhanu dun al iqama. But there's two opinions, but the more correct opinion according to me is what? Well, ashbahu ayu ad al adhanu dun al iqama. Let the adhan be repeated, not the iqama. Just repeat the adhan. Why? Why is saying repeat the adhan? Because لأن تكرار الأذان مشروع دون الإقامة. Because see, the adhan has been done, albeit in a deficient manner, right? There is other places in Sharia where the adhan is done, but you repeat it. Like our Jummah, you give one adhan, you give another adhan, right? Right? But dun al iqama, but if you look at the iqama, there's no other place in Sharia where you give iqama and you do it again another time. So here we'll say don't repeat the iqama. It says لأن تكرار الأذان, because the repetition of adhan مشروع, it is established دون الإقامة. So they're saying وقوله, his statement إن لم يعد, if he does not repeat it, أجزأه بمعنى الصلاة. أجزأه, it will suffice me يعني الصلاة. It will, you know, we did say the Ibarah explaining وإن لم يعد أجزأه, if he does not repeat it, right? أجزأه, what do you mean? It is sufficient. It's okay. It will suffice him. So وقول إن لم يعد, if he does not repeat it, أجزأه, it will be sufficient for him. يعني الصلاة. That يعني what means that the salat will still be valid. We won't say the salat has been seriously compromised. Why? لأنها جائزة بدون الأذان والإقامة. We know for a fact that salat is permissible without the azan and without the iqamat. So here, where it is done without taharat, obviously to a great extent, it will also be done. It will also be valid, right? The next ibarat is an interesting one. They say, وَكَذَلِكَ الْمَرْأَةُ تُؤَذِّنُ. What have you got for your full ibarat there? And like that, if a woman gives azan, يعني, what does it mean? معناه أيستحب أيعاد. If a woman called out the adhan in a masjid, whatever, it is mustahab that it be repeated. Why? ليقع على وجه السنة, so that it may take place in the full sunnah form. Just 1 second. They say, look here, why is it bid'at for a woman to call out the adhan? Two reasons. See, if the woman call out the adhan, she is either going to call it out in a loud voice, right? And if she call it out in a loud voice, that is not in keeping. A woman should not be loud. A woman should be soft, demure, right? So this is a separate discussion that is discussed in the Kutub of Fiqh. Is the voice of a woman aura? Like how we know certain part of the woman's body definitely has to be covered, right? Right? It's haram to expose it. Is it haram, a woman's voice aura? So there's two opinions in the Hanafi madhab, but the preferred opinion is that a woman's voice is not aura. A woman's voice is not aura. Right? So understand. But yes, there's no doubt in this here that she must not speak in a alluring tone, soft tone when she speaks to غير محارم, etc. She must speak in a firm, polite tone, right? There's no doubt in that, right? So that's a separate, I discussed two masas, which I said, is a woman's voice aura? The preferred opinion in the Hanafi madhab is a woman's voice is not aura. That's the first thing I'm telling you, right? Second thing I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you here, that there's no doubt in this, that for a woman to speak in an alluring tone is haram. That's the second must I'm telling you. right? Third thing I'm sharing with you is that for a woman to call out the adhan loud is not correct, right? Because a woman is supposed to be speak not soft whispering in the alluring tones, but polite and firm, right? So there's two surahs. If she call out the adhan soft, it defeats the purpose. Why? The purpose is to call people to the masjid, to call them to the salah. That's pointless. And if she call it loud out, she will be doing a inappropriate act, something she's not supposed to do, that she's screaming out aloud. So that's why we're saying there's no point in her calling out the adhan. If she call it out loud, she's done a wrong thing. If she call it out soft, it defeated the purpose. So either way, we say yustahab ayuada. It is mustahab that it be repeated. Liyaqa ala wajhi sunnah. So it take place in the sunnah manner. But then her voice is still being made loud for everybody to hear, which is inappropriate. So don't confuse the two maslas. One is this here: the woman's voice is not aura, right? It's not aura. That's the preferred. Although some ulama in the Hanafi madhab, they say it is a aura. So don't misunderstand it. So it's not aura. That's 100 in its place. But at the same time, while we say it is not aura, we also say that a woman shouldn't be speaking and making herself known and heard unnecessarily. That's a separate masla. So to give adhan loud, etc., she making her, her voice loud and known, etc., unnecessary. That is also inappropriate. Maybe it is not haram, but definitely it's inappropriate. So that's why it will impact the it will impact the not validity, but that's why it's not. We also say not valid. That's why it says it will impact its completion, or yeah, it will impact on its perfection, because something can't be perfect when it is done in a way that you are doing something haram or something inappropriate. Are you with me? Okay, we'll switch over to the tafsir now, inshallah.